Hey, what up, guys? All right, so far we can sign in, we can register. Our site is responsive and all of that. There's still a little bit more stuff to do, but today what we're going to work on is creating posts. So basically, today we're just going to focus on creating our posts. Um, if I don't take too long, we might also look into editing and deleting posts altogether. Right, so I'm going to sign in with the user we created in the previous video. Uh, sorry. Okay, so now the first thing we need to deal with is the fact that um, what the user needs to see because they don't have any post, they're not supposed to see this whole content here. So what we need to do is change this, the styling of this. All right. So let's see. What we need to do. uh, So in the dashboard, we need to get the posts that belong to this particular user. So if we come back, where should I go? App controller. All right. So let's see. You can say posts. Sorry, post. Let me call this user posts. Right. And then we can say post. Uh, bring that in. And then we can say, let me see. We need to get all the users posts. Oh, actually, no. Where um, where user ID, right, equals to um, the authenticated user's ID. So for that, we can use a helper function, and then I think we can say ID. No. I have to say user and then ID, right? So we're basically trying to pull in all the posts that belong to that particular user's ID. All right. I need to add the get method here. Okay, and in the dashboard, what we will do is say with, and I'm going to create an array. I'll say posts, user posts, and then user posts, right? Okay, so we're basically trying to get all the users posts, all the posts that belong to that particular user. So let's say get all posts that belong to authenticated user. So remember our post field. Let me just log into my SQL quickly. Use FLB. Sorry, and then all right, so remember there's a user ID field. So that's what we're using to get the user's ID. All right, so now in the dashboard, so we're gonna come into app dashboard. All right, so where are we displaying the user post? Card shadow. So all right, so I think what we need to do is loop through the posts themselves. So what we will do is, wait, let me see that. Uh, yeah, I think what we'll do actually start from here, right? So we will say if we're going to do an if else statement, right? We will say count user posts. Got the diamond sign here, right? If it's greater than 0, we will then display the user's posts, right? So we will put in the list of the user's posts, and then otherwise, if they don't have any posts, what we can do then here is say card body, and then we'll do the tag p tag card title, sorry, card text dot lead, and then say you have no registered posts, right? Let's just say also center the text. All right, so I think that should be fine. So basically what we're doing here is that we're checking to see if the user's posts, let me make sure I spelled that correctly. We're basically checking to see if the user's posts are greater than 0. If they are, then we're going to show a list of them here. Otherwise, we're just going to display this particular text here that says you have no registered posts, right? So if I did everything correctly, hopefully there won't be any errors. So let's refresh. All right, I hope you guys can see that. Let me make it a bit bold. I think there's a class for that in Bootstrap. Let me just check. Font, weight, bold. There it is. Right. Otherwise, we can just put it within b tags. So let's try. Okay, that didn't work. So let's move that, and then we're just gonna put this in b tags. Okay. Let's refresh. All right. It's not bad, but I hope you guys can see that. So you have no registered posts. All right. So now that means that we can proceed to work towards creating posts. Right. So we can start off by validating the input fields themselves, which is only 3: the title, the body, and the featured image. Now I know in the introductory video I showed you how to add what you call it, a CK editor. Don't stress about that. We will do that at a later stage. For now, all we need is to just validate these particular fields. All right. So let's see. We can go to, let's close off the login controller, the forms, the login blade. We can keep the app controller, that's fine. Let's move this, and okay, so now let's go into the post controller. So this method here, the store, is where we're gonna store the post. So let's start off by validating the field. Okay, so we're going pretty much gonna do the same thing. So we're gonna say this validate, and then we need the title. Let's do this required, and then we need what do we need? What do we need? We need the minimum. There must be at least 10 characters, and then let's see. I think that should be fine. There's an error here. Okay. Then we need also the body. I'm going to copy this, put it 2 more times. So this is going to be the body, and then this is going to be the image. So just remember, if you come to where our blog folder is, and then we go to the create, I'll be taking these names. This title, this one is body, and then this one is image. So those are the names we're taking. So all right, so now we need to make sure that we also, for the image, we get the correct MIME types. So for that we say MIMEs, then we're going to say JPG, and then also PNG. So those are the two files that we require. And then the post body, we don't need to say minimum 10, but it is required. Actually no, let's keep it in there. It needs to be more than 10 characters, so at least one word. That's basically what we're doing there. All right, I think that's pretty much it in terms of the validation. So within the blade, I'm going to do the exact same thing we did with the registration and login forms, where again I'll show you. So we're going to say small dot text danger, right? And then here we're going to say, we're going to use the global what you call it, the global variable, and then we're going to say first, and then what's the name, title, right? Then again we're going to make sure that the border is highlighted in red to indicate that it needs to be added, it's required, I mean. And then we're going to say has title, right? That's a ternary operator, and then we're going to echo out the is invalid bootstrap class, otherwise we echo nothing. All right, and then here we're going to say value, let me close this. We're going to say old, and then we're going to say title. If I didn't explain this before, for those who don't know, what this will do is that whatever value we put in here, if we get redirected back to this page, it'll keep that value so that we don't lose the data that we placed in here. All right, so we now need to work on the post method for this. All right, so let's see, if we come back to the web.php, this is where we're going to create our block. I mean, this is where we're going to create our function. So here we're going to place, right? We can say, now we're going to say post, okay? And then obviously this is going to go to store, all right? We can change that as well and say block.store. Now let's copy that name. So remember, this is a post method, which is going to go within the post controller to the store method, which is here, this function here. So now if you come back here, we're going to place in that route, block.store. It's a post method. By the way, because we're uploading an image here, make sure you also have this attribute also added, which is an ink type multi-part form data. Okay. All right. So I want to open up this folder here, because I want to copy this link. All right. So minimize that. All right. So what I want to just test now is to see if our form is linked up and can we validate or not. So for now, what we can do is come here, refresh, and then let's submit. Oh yeah, apologies, I forgot again to put in the CSRF token. So CSRF, save that. All right, let's try again. Okay, as you can see, our validation is working. So now I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to do the exact same thing that I did to this title input field here, and then we will come back and test out the whole form again and see if everything is working accordingly. One moment for me, please. All right, guys, I'm back. Okay, so I've done all the validation. So like I said before I paused the video, all I did was just add this particular error function here along with the value to keep our old values, and then also set this text here at the bottom. So what this will do is give us a red border and then also an error message at the bottom of the input field to indicate that for any possible issues. So I'll refresh, and then if I click create post, as you can see, our error messages are displaying, and then also our borders are highlighted in red. Okay, so now that we can validate our form, what we now can do is let's go back to the post controller. Okay, so now because we are uploading an image, that's the first thing we need to check for. Now I've been using the same process of uploading images to the server, and it hasn't changed. So I'm gonna paste in the whole function, and then I'll explain everything afterwards. So I'm gonna copy I'm gonna paste all in here the function, the if statement that we need to check for what you call it to deal with the whole process of uploading our file. So the first thing we do is we use the request object with the method has file, and then we're checking to see if there's an image, and then if there is, this is where we will proceed to get all the contents we need. So here we get the file name, the client original file name. So we say request file image, and then we get the original file name, right? And then here we're gonna get the extension of the file. So this is the method or the function you need to use in order to do that. So you say path info, complete file name, and then basically we pass in this object here, and then we then pass in this constant path info file name. Then after that, we get the file extension again. Or here we're getting the file without the extension. Sorry about that. And then here we're getting the file extension itself, right? So we're getting the extension of this file that's been uploaded. And then here we're gonna say our file name. We are gonna create. This is gonna be the name that we're going to store within the database. Now I made a bit of a mistake here. We should have said image instead of image path within our post file, within our post database table, but that's also fine. We understand what's going on. And then, so here we get the complete file name without the extension, right? And then we're just gonna put an underscore. We're gonna put in a timestamp so that the file name is unique. And then after that, we're gonna concatenate with a dot, and then the file extension itself, which we are getting over here. And then we're gonna store it within this variable here, which will give us the whole file name. Then the files themselves are going to be stored within the public folder and then images. Now, don't think that it's going to store these files within this folder, which is in the public folder and then images. That's not what it's going to do. What it's going to do is store the file within another folder. I'll show you now. There's a storage folder in here, and then it's going to automatically go within the app folder and then public folder. So now because there's no images folder within the public folder, it will create it and then store this particular file within there, right? Otherwise, if there is no file, we will just we'll just store this name here, no file present, .png within the database table. Okay, so just pause the video and just copy what I did over here. I hope I was able to explain as to how this all works. I can't remember where I saw this. I think it was one of Brad Traversi's videos. I think it was when I was learning learning Laravel as well. So I've been using this method ever since. Even in Laravel documentation, I see they mostly use these functions here instead of the facades. So, but ever since I think that video, I've been using this method. So if you don't prefer this, there's other ways you can do it. I would recommend checking the Laravel documentation. All right, so once we get the file, let's see, let's come down here, and then now we're gonna create the post. So let's say create post, right? And then we're gonna say post, okay, and then create, and then we're gonna put in the array, That's wrong. We need the model. Okay, apologies for that. Just make sure that the post model is imported at the top. All right, so what we're gonna need first is the user ID, and that's pretty much simple. Remember, the person who's creating the post is the authenticated user. So for that, we need auth, right? And then we're gonna say user, right? And then we're gonna need the ID, right? And then from there, we're gonna take in the title, right? We're gonna get it from the request object, okay? And then we're gonna say um, title. All right, so now remember we also created another field called slug, as you can see there. So now the slug, we're going to take from the title itself. So we're going to say slug, and then there is a function, or there is a facade that we can use for that. So it's str um, slug, okay? And then from there, we're going to say request title. Now it didn't automatically pull in this facade here, so we're gonna need to go to the top and add and edit. So underneath here, I'll say use illuminate support, and then slug. Str. All right. So just make sure you import this at the top in order to use this facade over here. So it'll just slugify whatever title we place within our form over here. And then that's what we're going to use when we view the titles. When we view the posts. Okay, so we got the slug. So now the next thing we need is the body. And then we're going to say body. And then image path. Like I said, guys, we should have said image instead of image path, but since we know what's going on here, what we're storing is the name of the file and not the image path. So for that, what we can do is say file name to store. So I'm going to copy this and then paste it here. And then that's pretty much it. So this is where we're creating the post. Now I'm going to copy this again because we need to add these fields in the as fillables in the post model. So we have to come back in the models folder and then go into posts. Let me see, protected fillable. Okay, so underneath here we'll say fillable, and then paste these here. Then now we can remove all of the stuff. Okay, and then let's see. All right. What else? I think that's pretty much it. So now, oh yeah, by the way, we need to redirect the user back to the create to the create post page. So we're gonna say return redirect, and then routes would be I think it's the blog dot create. Okay, with success. And then here we can say in fact we don't even need um we don't even need this stuff, these things actually. You can just say back and then put in that arrow function, so it'll just redirect us back to the create post page. Okay, so I think, let me just double check my notes. I think that's everything we need. Auth ID, request title, Slack, request title, and then body, and then file name to store. Okay, so let's test it out and see if I've done everything correctly. All right, so the title will be, let me just check. I want to see those images that we have in here. Uh, let's just say healthy brunch ideas. Let's just say for work, right? And then what I'll do is I'm gonna create some text here, right? I'm gonna create some text using lorem. So from here, I'm gonna come here and say lorem, and then let's just say 100 words, right? And then I'm gonna cut it out and I'm gonna paste it here because I'm gonna reuse this quite a lot. So I might as well just do that. Let me just put these on separate lines. Here as well. Yeah, I think that's fine. Okay, so I'm gonna copy this text from here and then paste it here within the body. All right, hopefully that comes out right. And then we're gonna select an image. So when I created that title, the image I was looking at was this one here, blog image 3. We can take this one, but let's just use blog image 3, right? And then let's create the post. Oh, damn it, I forgot to actually put the success message here. Okay, so that's fine. Let's come here. So as you can see, within the storage folder, app, and then public, it created the images file folder. Can you see there? So now there's our image over there. And then if you come back to, let's check the database. I'll say select all from posts, right? Um, let's see, press enter. Okay, let's change that because it looks ugly. I'm gonna say -G and save. All right, so there's our text. Obviously, it's not gonna look nice, but there's our image, there's our title, and then there's our slug. Okay, so now if you remember, if this user goes back to the dashboard, so now because the user has a post, now this card is now showing. So now let's change that and give let's come back to the dashboard file. So now we're going to change this um, to display the actual title, right? And say, what are we going to do here? Oh yeah, sorry. We need to loop through the posts. So for that, what we need to do is, oh yeah, we're gonna need to come in here. So we're gonna copy from list up until where it says end of list, all right? So we're gonna cut that out. So we're gonna say for each, right? Um, we're gonna say user posts, right, as post, and then we're gonna paste back that user list. I mean that list back into here. Okay, so now the title we can get it now. We can say let's see, post and then title, right? So the title, as you remember, it was healthy branch ideas for work, right? So let's refresh here and see how it looks. As you see, the post is now showing. Okay, that's good. What else? What else? That's all we need basically here on the front end. So now, for example, this view button, we need it so that when we click here, this post title is gonna go to the show. It's gonna show the title itself. So let's change this and add. Sorry, coming back into the post controller, and then we're gonna go to the show method. Remember here it was showing ID before when we were testing. So now what we need to do is change that from that and say slug, because we're gonna use the slug to view the post, right? So now what we can do is we can come here and say get post, right? And then here we can say post equals to post um, post where slug equals to that particular slug, and then get. Okay, so let me just double check if that's what I did. Oh yeah, sorry, this is not get, this is first. So it's gonna get the first one. Okay, and then here we're just gonna say with, and then we're gonna say post, and then from here you're gonna get that post, right? Okay, so now if we come back here on the uh, web.php file, we are gonna go to where it says show, right? So we're gonna change that from post, and then we're just gonna say slug. So basically, when you put these curly braces around it, it turns that into a parameter. So what we will get is blog, and then the slug of the post itself, right? So now what we need to do is come back here on the dashboard, right? And in here we're gonna use that route name, right? So which is blog.show dashboard, right? So we're gonna say route, and then here we're gonna give it the name route. But because there's a slug, we need to then now add the post and then slug parameter. So we need to put this within the within curly braces as an array. I think that's how I did it the last time. Let me just double check again. Um, hold on, guys. I'm checking my notes just to be sure. Uh, oh, actually, we don't even need the what you call it, calibrate the braces there, so we can say that. All right. So let's see if I refresh. Okay. Missing perimeter route dot blog URI slug. Okay. Let's see. Oh, okay. My mistake. So basically, it's supposed to be within the same brackets. My apologies. So in the route function, just make sure that that next parameter is within the brackets themselves. All right. Apologies for that. My mistake. I'm gonna refresh. All right. So now if you click here, so if you look here at the bottom of the screen, you will see that it's showing the route plus the slug itself. So if I click here now, as you can see now, it's showing the URL is showing the slug, which is the title of the post. So now that means we can now edit this this page here to display the actual title of the content, and then yeah, that's pretty much it. So if we come back to our blog folder, we can come here in the show.blade.php file, right? And then at the top here where we say blog title, all we have to do is say post. So sorry, curly braces first, and then we're gonna say post and then title. Now remember here we don't loop through because this is not a collection, it's showing one particular post. So from the controller, remember we named our variable as post. So when you go to the view, you use the exact same name of the post. Otherwise, if you named it different, like user post, this is what you would have to come into the show.blade, and instead of post you would have to say um sorry dash user sorry man user post. Okay, now I'm only mentioning this because this used to confuse me as to how exactly do you access the contents, how you access these variables within the view. So just make sure that the name that you place here within the within the quotes is the exact same name that you use here. So now let's remove the user post, and then if let's just save this and then check and see if our title is showing. All right. So as you can see, it changed. It's now showing the title that's showing within our database. Now we don't have to do this, but we can get the user's name and so forth. But let's see, we still have to do the relationship between what you call it, the between the user model and the post model. But for now, what we can do, let's see, where's this going? This is going back to, this needs to go back to the dashboard, right? And then we can change all of this content here. So in the last time we did this, we just put in some static data. So I'm going to delete everything that's here within the card text. Just make sure it's that, right? And then here we can just say curly brace and then post body, right? And we save, and then we can check it now. So that's the body of our post. Now we need to place in the image that we stored within the database, right? So to do that, hold on. To do that, there's a couple of things that we need to do. So we need to create a symlink or some sort of a link between our storage file here, because this is not something that needs to be accessed from the direct from our what you call it from our storage folder. So we're going to create a link between this folder and which is going to create another folder within the public folder. So we need to create a link between those two so that we are able to access the images folder. So basically there's a command for that. Okay, so we're going to the PHP artisan, and I believe storage, then link. And then we press enter. Okay, so as you can see, it tells you here there is a link has been connected to app public. So basically, as you can see, this folder, this public folder here, has been created. The storage folder has been created, but if you look inside within the public folder and then come to storage, as you can see, there's our images file. So it created a link between the two. So basically we can store images within here, and then it'll create a link there where the images will be accessible publicly. So as you can see, by default, the public folder, it doesn't need to be called. Um, when we call the images, we just have to say storage images and then blog or whatever image we want from that particular folder. So now we can close this, and then this is where we're gonna need to make some changes. So remember, it's storage and then / images, right? And then now we're gonna need to change this. So here we're gonna need to concatenate and say dot, right, slash, and then dot. If we place our post here, we can say image path. So what this will do is get the name of the image uh, over here. So let's check it out and see if I've done everything correctly. I'm gonna refresh. All right, so there's our image now. So that's the image we uploaded within our database. Okay, so that's pretty much it for showing posts. I just want to configure that button. Where do we go again? I think we go, oh, there it is. So this one is just going to go back to the dashboard. So we're going to say route and then app dashboard, right? And then when we come back here, we save and refresh. I click there, we should be back to the dashboard. So as you can see, when we say view, we get our content, and then as you can see, that's our title. We will check and see. In fact, there's something else we can do here. We can check the date. We can get the date. So let's see. So posted, right? We're gonna do that and say post created at, and then there is a, if I'm not mistaken, there's a function called diff. Is it diff for humans? Hold on. Just checking my notes again. I believe it's diff for humans. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's diff for humans, and then close that. All right. So basically, this will show us something like posted, published 2 months ago, 3 months ago, something like that. So let's refresh. As you can see, it's now saying posted, published 16 minutes ago. Okay, so we will get to the name because we have to create a relationship between what you call it, between the posts and the users. All right, so let's see what else. I think that's pretty much it, guys. In fact, you know what? Let's do it now while we're still here. So within the post model, within the users model down here, you can say public function and then posts, right? Okay, so here we'll say return um, this as as many, and then we'll say post, right, and then class. So just remember, if you're going to import it this way, it needs to be imported at the top. Let's see. Well, actually, it doesn't need to because it's in the same folder as the as the post model. All right, so return this has many posts. So a user has many posts, and then a particular post belongs to one user. So now in here, we need to create another relationship function and then user, right? So here we'll say return um, this belongs to, and then we're going to say user and then class. Okay. Um, Now if you come back to the show model, I believe the way you access it is by saying, so you say post, right? And then we're going to get the user method that we just created, right? Which is this one here. We can be pulling that user, right? And then from there, we're going to pull the first name, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing here. Oh no, actually I'll say dot space, and then concatenate again, and then I'm going to change this to last name. All right. So this will then know um, what this will do. This relationship here, um, what it'll do is it'll check the name of the model, and then within the database, it knows that it needs to check for a the relationship it needs to link this to is the user ID. If you have a different way in which you named your user ID, you would have to then add a parameter here and say whatever foreign the name of. If let's say your user ID was user account ID within the database, then that's what you would put here. But because ours is straightforward, it'll know that the user ID is what it needs to check for. So hopefully I did everything correctly. Let's just refresh. Okay, undefined property, eliminate database belongs to. What did I do? Did I put it in caps or something? Belongs to. That's first name. Oh, okay. Show first name. But that's how I said it. So what did I do? First name. 1 second there. Oh, I think I know what the issue is. So I need to remove those two brackets there. Oh, okay. So okay, so it's a little different when you're dealing with relationships. So you don't put the brackets, the closing brackets next to because remember this is a method, so it's a bit odd, but in any case that's how you do it. So obviously it doesn't look like it's changed, but remember we registered as John Doe, so yeah, but in any case that's working. So if you go back, we can create another post. Let's see, what images do we have in here? uh, no, that's fine. uh, let's use let's use let's use this one here. No, that's so that it's different. Let's I'm gonna take this one here, blog image number 12. Right, so that would be something something foods. 5 best food salad ideas, something like that. And then I'm gonna copy our body and choose an image. Um, I said, which one was it? Blog image number 12. Is that even fruits? I don't know. Then I create post. Again, I forgot to create the success message. So if you come back here, there's our latest post. And if I say view, okay, so those are not fruits, those are vegetables, but as you understand what I was going for. All right, so we can create posts. I think the video is long enough. In the next video, we'll deal with editing and deleting posts. So I think it's best to just end the video here. All right, guys, so that's pretty much it. Um, Again, I hope you guys were able to follow along with what I was doing. But in any case, if you've liked what you've seen so far, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys within the next video. Cheers for now.